We are in officially football season. Tom, I don't know if you realize this. We've been running around crazy. A lot of us have. We've got a lot of exciting news coming in the next few weeks. Plenty of people that have been with us for years and whom we've worked with continue to come on board, and that's exciting. But it's a lot of work. We're running around getting everybody set and make sure everybody's happy. But you may not have checked the calendar. You may not have checked the schedule in the throes of work as you were. 28 games tonight.
Is that right?
28 games.
The Warwick Dunn count.
Man, is that something? Now, I think I got word moments ago that one of them got moved to Saturday because of the inclement weather, to put it mildly, in the Northeast. The Rutgers-Temple game, which I know you were pumped about, has been moved to Saturday. I would tell you I'm interested in that game. I'm on the side of Rutgers, given the 13.5 if I can still get it against Temple there. That's just an aside.
So that's a kind of a prologue to the Redemption Thursday wagers?
Yeah.
That's not even the real slate. No, that's not the big card?
No, and I'm still adding to the card. Now, we posted it moments ago. And, hey, go look for yourself. Let's get it on. It's charitable. It's fun. It's a chance to wager non-perishable food items. For example, you might say, Jeff, I'll tell you what, I don't see eye to eye with you on that South Alabama Southern Miss game. And I'm going to go ahead and bet 2 boxes of Captain Crunch that says you're wrong. You could do that. And somebody would win or lose 2 boxes of Captain Crunch to be delivered to a charity of your choice.
There it is. It's a beautiful sight. The director putting it together.
Yeah, look at that. There it is. I had to add to my slate of games. Here they are. I did not want to touch the Florida State Notre Dame game, but I figured the audience would be disappointed if I didn't actually address Florida State's chances in Redemption Thursday. So I am on Notre Dame's side here, minus the 7.5, if I have to do it. I didn't do it in my real life. I can't do it. Can't bring myself to do it. I'm hoping there's some magic in the air Sunday night. I do feel like the electricity will be just that, and we'll all feel it as we walk in there. There's no doubt. But is it enough? Can it sustain Florida State well into the second half where maybe the dream is realized? And, I do think there's a path to victory here. I don't think it's an unwinnable game. There are a couple games on the schedule that I go, ooh, no real chance there. Not gonna do it. This isn't one of those. This is a winnable game. And I think obviously I've repeated it over and over and over again. And the more I think about it, the more I really, really feel like Florida State just has to have something good happen early. It could be something small, but just something good early to feel good about itself. I've seen too many teams that have been down trying to fight their way out of a hole and really buying in, working hard. You read the reports, you find out from people that are covering the team, boots on the ground, that they've worked hard, that they've played well, that the coaching staff is connected. And then they go out and something bad happens and they fall back into bad habits. And that's just my biggest fear, that they'll get punched and they'll kind of hang their head a little bit. And the next thing you know, you got to talk them off the ledge again. And, that's unfortunate. But I think that's what happens when you're trying to flip culture and you're trying to fight your way back to a place of, of respectable efforts week in and week out.
So you said this a few times this week. Let's define those terms. Notre Dame goes 8 plays, 75 yards, 5.5 minutes. They're up 7-0. They got the ball first. You saying we can't win at that point?
No. I'm not saying that at all. I want to see how they react to something that's negative. I want to see, do they respond in a way that makes you proud? I mean, that's part of the problem. Let's just say it. I mean, this team, the last few years, good Christ, the first time anything happens negative, they can't battle back. They just you see them slump. It's crazy. It's not an overstatement. You could quite literally see their shoulders slump when things began to go poorly. Not every game, but a lot of games, you and I would comment. We'd like, oh, here we go. Look at them. They're shell-shocked.
All right. 10-0 Notre Dame. First quarter. Florida State has the ball. Do they have a chance?
Yes, they're still in the game. I don't,
14-0. I want to hear, because if you're talking about something good has to happen early, I'm trying to define the terms. What is the point of no return if you're watching this game on Sunday and you're saying, that's that?
There's 2 ways to look at this. First of all, you can logically look out on the field and see a physical mismatch. Your team is down by 2 scores. They're not coming back. But that doesn't mean that they don't fight like hell in order to try and come back. So you could realistically be very pragmatic in the moment and say, well, I mean, the chances of winning this game are slim and none at this point. But I better not look out there and know that there's no chance because I'm not seeing effort, because I'm seeing people give up. That can't happen. I mean, I don't care if they're down, and we're worst case scenarioing this thing. I don't care if they're down 35-7. I better not see guys lacking effort and not showing fight. I mean, they could get blown out, but you still need to see them play hard.
Yeah, like on the one hand, I understand what you're saying, that it would be a lot easier for this program if maybe fumble luck goes your way in the first quarter once or twice, or maybe a kid drops a pass on 3rd and 6. He was open, and next thing you know, Notre Dame has to punt. We have the ball. Like little things like that can add up and allow for a much more loose environment for the players, the crowd in general. The crowd would still be involved in the game. I know you can't know, but in watching this team practice, they seem to be very different than they have been as a program.
Seem to be. Haven't played a game. Let's go find out. They seem to be.
The weeks of evidence in camp do nothing for you.
No, because they're playing each other. And if you can't give effort in practice on a day-to-day basis after winning 3 games last year and you're about to play Notre Dame, then what the hell are you? You're a bum.
Our program the last 3 years, because they wouldn't have given consistent effort.
No, but remember, when things went wrong, things spiraled out of control and they began to show lackluster effort. They haven't played a game yet. And they've got Notre Dame in the opener in prime time with the nation watching. You can't tell me that you're not motivated at that point to fight and get better and try to improve daily. I mean, losing sucks. We think it's bad as fans to sit out there and watch our team get their head kicked in. It's awful if you're a player because you're the one sacrificing every day just to go out there and get your head kicked in. It's awful. And it should serve as enough of a motivator that day in and day out you say, not again. Not again, no. Hey, because football's really hard. I know you know this. It's really hard, and it can be a drag day to day. I mean, you can really be at a point of exhaustion and frustration and just be ready to see a different face, another colored jersey. You just want to go compete against anybody but the guy across from you for the last 20 days. So but yet, if you went 3-6 last year, and one of your wins is against Jacksonville State, and the other one's against a Duke team who got shut out the week before and didn't want to come here. So really, you won one game against North Carolina when everybody was competing as hard as they could, and that was a great moment, but it was the only moment. No. And he did a good job of running off guys that didn't want to be part of that work. He did a good job of running off people who didn't want to commit to that. So to your point, you'd say, well, no, he's got the guys here that if they're still here, they're committed. I'm not questioning commitment, but adversity in a game is different than committing to working hard in practice. And I want to see, do they respond well when something goes wrong in a game? Because right now it's all pie in the sky. Every player on every team in America, before they play a game, convinces themselves that they're going to be better than they were a year ago and that they're going to win that game. I mean, you've got 30-point underdogs whose players right now believe they're going to go win that game. Bowling Green's sorry ass believes that they're going to beat Tennessee, and they're 36.5-point underdogs. Those players believe they're going to go win, that they're going to shock the world. And it's up to Tennessee to stomp that out of them early in the game, get up 14-21, and let the world know, yeah, you ain't winning nothing tonight. And they'll play the role at that point. But before that kicks off, it's like baseball teams in spring training. Oh, sure, on paper, the roster doesn't look very good, does it? But you never know. That's why they play the games, and I like our chances and all that other rigmarole. And then they get out there and you lose 9 of your first 10, and you're well on your way to being the Baltimore Orioles. Reality hits you. But Baltimore didn't think when they were in camp as a player that they were going to lose 110 games. Okay,
to stick with the baseball analogy, there have been too many times over the past 5-6 years for the baseball program here in Tallahassee that we needed the sport to rear its head on a better program than ours. Say Florida, right? We need baseball to be baseball to win the game tonight. I don't know, maybe something wacky happens. It happens all the time in this sport. Are we there with this program for Notre Dame on Sunday? Because if they were returning a lot more players than they weren't, I'd say, yeah, you probably need a lot of things to go your way. But given the overhaul with Notre Dame, and even though last year's group here was a mess, you have a little bit of precedent that team had no business beating North Carolina on a Saturday night. None. Mac Brown should be ashamed of that game. And we were up 35-0 on them. So All I'm saying is,
was it 35-0?
I think it was.
I don't think was it 35-0.
Might have been 28-0. Whatever it was. It was absurd.
Yeah, and we had a chance to actually blow them out. We screwed up going in.
That's correct.
Yeah, up 10 with the ball. Yeah,
right. There was also a situation. Well, whatever. The point being that game, I think, was a more lopsided situation before the ball kicked off than this game will be because of all that Notre Dame lost in the offseason. There was less hope against North Carolina than there is for this particular matchup on Sunday night. So that's where I'm saying, like, I understand in certain situations against Clemson, for example, you need a lot of stuff to go your way before you even entertain the idea.
Yeah.
And it probably needs to happen for 2.5 or 3 full quarters before you entertain the idea.
Hey, we're up 40.5. You think we're going to win this one?
But like on its face, a couple of months ago, maybe a month ago when I just started here, I'd said it would be a monumental upset if Florida State beat Notre Dame. I don't believe that as much as I did then because of 2 things. Number 1, I'm seeing this program get better. And number 2, you're catching Notre Dame when they're changing a lot of things. A new defensive scheme, a bunch of players gone, the attrition at quarterback, offensive line. That's why Vegas has this game within 10 to begin with. If Notre Dame was Notre Dame of last year, what would the spread be? 14, 17?
Yeah,
it's only a touchdown.
It might be more. Yeah.
I think that's about right for this game. So I think some things could go wrong in the beginning, and I think we'll still be plenty in it.
I think, yeah, sure. I again, what I'm talking about is something going wrong early in the game that feels an awful lot like the myriad things that went wrong a year ago, and all of a sudden you see the body language shift. Even if logically you and I are saying, no, don't do that, guys. You can win this game. You're down 10-3. Who cares? You're down 13-3. Whatever. I mean, you got plenty of time. Go play. But again, our mindset is very different than their psyche currently. And again, a lot of these guys who we're counting on, not all, because there are plenty of transfers that are going to be playing here in this game. But
I think it was 31-0 for the North Carolina thing. Anyway, sorry.
It was bothering you.
Yes, these things do. You know they do.
I know.
It's a quirk.
Yeah, I'm the same way, though. No, I think, honestly, that some of the guys that we're counting on here have been part of segment groups that have really struggled, and their psyche is fragile. That's all. That's all I'm saying. And I just want to see that they've been emboldened by their hard work. I want to see that there's an infused amount of confidence that comes with that work that you put in, that you sacrifice every day. And that leads to a reason to puff out your chest and be proud and to compete because you know you've put in the work, man. That's the whole thing. That's anything. That's anybody, anywhere. If you've put in the work and you've prepared, then you're going to have resilience to you. You're going to have confidence. It's like giving a speech. Did you take the time to prepare that speech? Have you gone over it? Have you committed to it? Have you read it over and over again? Well, then step to the dais and give the damn speech. And eventually somebody will lock in and you'll lock eyes and you'll feel good and you'll get in a rhythm and everything will be fine. And you know that because you've repped it. And that's what these guys got to do, man. They've put in the work.
So how was the Sunrise Rotary earlier this week?
It was great. I had no fear.
Who'd you lock eyes with?
The whole room, all of us. We were together. No, I just think that honestly, that's what I want to see. I want to see that they are past some of those problems from yesteryear. And the only way to see it is during a game, have it play out where the fight continues after the adversity hits. That's possible. And I'm not saying they're not going to do that. I'm just waiting anxiously, I might add, to see it with my own eyes. What
do you believe? Do you believe they will respond? In your heart right now, before the evidence is there for you to see. What do you believe?
They're going to compete and work hard. Yeah, I do believe. I think, unfortunately, they're physically at a disadvantage in this game. And as the game wears on, it will be a lost cause because of that they're going to get worn down. And that ultimately will lead to them losing the football game. But I think that's very different and completely acceptable if it plays out that way and we're not at a disadvantage because of coaching. I mean, we've all admittedly said 2 fingers to my eyes, 2 fingers back to you, Adam Fuller. I need to see a defense that's coordinated, that's physical, that plays fast, plays confidently. Have you been able to ingrain and teach this system to these guys? Can they apply it in a game setting as opposed to looking completely lost and absolutely out of place? Because if the answer is yes, then even if they lose because they're not physically good enough, you'll be fine, because that means a lot of other games on this schedule are imminently winnable at that moment. There's a reason you're a significant underdog at home against Notre Dame. just as you will be an underdog when you face Clemson and Florida and Miami. We're talking about the physical detriments and problems in terms of depth and quality depth that Florida State might have in those kinds of games. But, of course, there are 6 or 7 games where that is not the case. So if the fight is there and they're organized and they're coordinated and they believe and they're confident and they play, then you're going to go beat Wake Forest in 2 weeks. And then you're going to go on down the list, Louisville and Syracuse. You're going to beat those teams then. And now we kind of shift to the fan base a little bit. But if you're in the stands watching this game and you're just getting pushed around, okay, well, that sucks. Nobody likes it. It's like being bullied. That's not cool. But that's not an excuse. That's a reason. Then you're going, okay, well, we got to get better players. We got to get a greater depth of quality players in here. And that's what that 2022 class is about. That's what we keep talking about, right? That's raising the floor of talent so that when you get into these games, now that you know what you're doing, you can win them because you got players that are as big, as strong, as fast. But until that happens, you're going to lose some games just by matchup and physical detriments alone. But you can win all the other games, and fans will then say, all right, here we go. I got a group that's going to win that Louisville and Syracuse game, let alone the Jacksonville State game. And then who knows? Let's go. Let's get it on. Let's see what happens when we go to North Carolina. Let's see what happens when we host NC State, who I think is a real good team. That's you want a reason, and certainly Sunday night in part is going to give you some answers finally. I think we're tired of asking questions, and
sure,
obviously some of these are rhetorical, some of these are just curious, some of these are, hey man, I'm anxious just as you are. I want to see this game. I'm excited about this game.
I feel better about it because I've heard hopelessness in your voice. I thought often this week. It's not hopelessness per se, is what you're saying. Oh, it is.
No, not at all.
Okay.
No. I don't have hopelessness. No, I just have assumed that we're going to lose the game, and that's not like people are like, what the hell? How can you not believe? Well, I think Notre Dame's better than we are. Not in life.
Certainly not.
But
look at that town
in football.
Hashtag dump of a town.
I think currently they're better.
Let's get it trending.
It's like all the times when we were a dominant program and we, would stroll into people's stadiums and, obviously if you went to those roadies, you were like, yeah, you guys ready for your ass beating? And you went to those games knowing damn well you're going to win that game. If you then ask somebody whose team was a 7 or 14 or more point underdog, do you think you can win tonight? They might have said, yeah, but I'm not picking us. That didn't make them negative. It made them realists. That's all I'm saying about this game. I think we could win it. It would take an upset.
My tone would sound a lot more like yours if it was October 25th, right?
Yeah.
Not this first game, they've got a lot going on. They're kind of a mess, not in dysfunctional ways, but they've got a lot of pieces moving.
Well, I wish, and this is where the first week of the season, we're all at a disadvantage in trying to project. We think we know. We've looked at personnel. You read all the material that you can to educate yourself. In our situation, we're fortunate. We have access to people who cover teams on the ground. You can reach out to those people or you can read their reports. And I try to do that just to get a sense of what's going on. And when you look at teams on our schedule, I'm always kind of looking at their boards and talking to their beat writers and those kinds of things to try to figure out, have they had a good camp? Have they looked good? Oh, really? They got problems? There's acrimony between the coaching staff and the fan. Well, then I want to know those things. But without us being there, in that dump of a town.
That's right. Who would want to be there?
Covering Notre Dame on a daily basis. I don't know how disorganized they are. They may walk out there completely in rhythm, ready to roll. I mean, I'm sure they've repped the hell out of what they want to do. They've got good players.
Oh, I'd imagine it'd be vanilla anyway. They're going to say, we're going to do the vanilla things, and if we have to break out any tricks, we will. But prove it to us that we need to, Florida State. Because this is going to be very basic.
I didn't even go over these games. They were posted. I'll get to them in a moment, and we'll also talk a little bit about Florida State from today. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV on a Redemption Thursday.
Every great construction project, whether it's a new addition or renovation, starts with a plan. At T-Spark, we are excited when our clients contact us to assist with that plan. Through our team of architects, draftsmen, engineers, we can help you with your project's planning and design, potentially saving costs in the long run. Whether you have a residential or commercial project, we look forward to working with you. Call us today or visit us at tsparkconstruction.com. License number CGC 1525336.
Crawfordville Auto and Tire. Crawfordville Auto and Tire. Oh, hey there. I was just singing the praises of Crawfordville Auto and Tire. They do just about everything. Complete engine rebuilds, brakes, shocks, tires, oil change, you name it, they do it. And they offer a 12-month, 12,000-mile warranty on all parts and labor. Most of the time, they can service your car the same day and offer towing to help you get to the shop. Now that's something to sing about. Open weekdays from 7:30 in the morning until 6 at night. Crawfordville Auto Repair and Tires.
It's pool season, and the huge pool at Killearn Country Club is ready for you. Pool memberships are just $5.99 for the season through September, and come with poolside service and unlimited access to the 19th hole. Live the country club life without the country club price. And don't miss the weekly themed Thursday night dinners featuring exquisitely prepared meals paired with the best wines. Stay up to date with all the events and club deals at KillearnCC.com. That's KillearnCC.com.
When you need a plumber quick, how long is an acceptable time to have to wait?
Yeah, hey, it's the Millers again. Just calling you about our little plumbing problem.
2 hours?
Hey, we were hoping you can get here soon because the water is getting really bad. I mean, please hurry.
4 hours?
I know you said you were on your way, but, honey, tell the kids to tread water.
8 hours?
Don't worry about us. We're fine.
At M&L Plumbing, you'll never have to wait long for quality, dependable service right when you need it. At M&L Plumbing, we listen to our customers, and our qualified technicians aim to achieve 100% customer satisfaction. So the next time you need plumbing work or repairs, think of the name M&L Plumbing, your local plumbing experts, commercial or residential. Give us a call, 850-575-9393, or visit us online at mandlplumbing.com. M&L Plumbing, for all of your plumbing needs.
When the forgotten poor are in need of healing, they wait for a ship unlike any other. Mercy Ships, a floating hospital staffed by volunteers, heroes of mercy who donate their time to save lives.
Every human has the right to have a place at the table of the human race.
If you could just see the smiles that you get when lives have been changed, then it would make it all worth it.
To learn more about Heroes of Mercy, go to mercyships.org.
You went online to switch your car insurance to Progressive so you could save money. But then you saw a friend request from an old summer camp buddy. And now here you are, clicking through photos of his kickball team from 2011. Oh, looks like they won the championship that year. Then he moved to Tulsa. Oh, a new tattoo. Yes, they said it was easy to save hundreds on car insurance with Progressive, but they forgot about the rest of the internet. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. National average savings by new customer surveyed who saved in 2019.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Thursday is the only reason you'd hear me say those words. I'm looking at you, Mark Stoops. Let's do some things that would not ordinarily be part of my lexicon there. Phrasing.
It was back in 2012.
It was. Yeah, it was. Well, they brought in Liam Cohen from the Los Angeles Rams. He, by the way, as OC, well, he was not the OC with the Rams, but he helped coordinate the passing game and worked with the quarterbacks. So they're trying to get a needed boost, a little something to bolster that offense. They've been able to run the ball at Kentucky for some time, and they've played physical defense, of course, but they haven't been able to throw it much. They got a Penn State transfer in at quarterback, so I think they're going to be a little bit better on offense, and that Louisiana Monroe team is simply dreadful on defense for 5 years running now. Let's go over the 54.5. By the way, you know that's where Rich Rod is?
Is that right?
Yeah, he's at Louisiana Monroe, and he's calling plays for his son, Rhett Rodriguez.
Oh, so he's not even the head coach?
Oh, I think. Oh, I didn't look. I think he is. Yes, I think he is the head coach. But yeah, he's. There's a
join your son's staff. That would be interesting.
Well, his son's the quarterback, but yeah. He's calling plays for him.
He's old enough where his kid could have been.
Yeah.
I suppose a boy wonder.
No, his kid's playing quarterback. Rhett is playing quarterback, and he's calling plays for him.
God, you're prepared with ULM and these other schools. It's amazing.
You think maybe I've done a little bit of research?
I'm worried. I'm worried about you.
It's Redemption Thursday. Kentucky, ULM over 54, baby. Rich Rod's going to coach him up. They'll get it to 17. And then Kentucky will light up that god-awful defense, and we'll jump on that cover train.
I can feel it all the way down.
That's right.
Plums.
We're going over 54. Louisiana Lafayette, not a team that you'd say, how do you know about them? Because if you paid attention, they went 9-1 a year ago, and they had the top 20 defense in the country. They have a great defense. I'm counting on that defense to step up big against Texas. Come on, Patrick Toney. Let's coach him up. Under 58, Tom.
I can feel it all the way down.
Under 58 is one of the wagers there. I got Texas A&M, Jimbo's group, going to lay a walloping on Kent State. I'll give the 28.5, Coach. South Alabama -1 against Southern Miss. They've got experience at quarterback, Major Applewhite.
Wait a minute. Let me cut in. This is the first one of the year for the new audience.
You going to do this?
This is not the same thing as what was declared.
No, not
this
a redemption.
Weekend.
No, not a Cat 5 maintained.
But any time that there's a wager that makes no sense, and by no sense, I mean, well, of course it makes sense because somebody over here has been reading between the lines very carefully.
Doing my best.
Yeah. When you see two teams that are basically anonymous, they're the teams in the bottom line where you're like, all right, enough about that score. I want to get to my scores. I will fire up the Cat 5 horn because that is an alert. You would never see that on its own. Nobody has an opinion on, what was it, South Alabama and
I
Southern
have an opinion
Miss?
on South Alabama and Southern Miss, yes.
Without real degenerate skills. So that's the alarm.
Yeah, I am.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
And by the way, thanks to one of our listeners, I wasn't even paying attention. I don't know how this escaped me. I was just thinking about Rich Rod calling plays, but Terry Bowden's the head coach at Louisiana Monroe. Terry Bowden.
Is that right?
He had to take a leave,
He took the leave.
Yeah,
that's where it was from. I, for some reason, think he's still at Akron.
Well, he was there. You had that right. But anyhow, that's, So this game, South Alabama, -1 point. Major Applewhite coaching up Jack Bentley. Going to get him thrown around.
Oh.
Going to get it. He's a transfer.
Jack Bentley, huh?
Jack Bentley. He came over from Utah, ready to throw it around. Here we go.
You have upped your game. Your game.
Southern Miss is dealing with a quarterback who's only thrown the ball, I think, 59 times in his career. So it's an opportunity here. I think that line's a little low. Give me South Alabama on -1.
Yeah.
I had it at -4, but it dropped to -1. I said, okay, I'm all over this. Let's do this thing.
Subscribe to College Sportsbook on YouTube, apparently, right?
College Sportsbook. You'll find me giving out some of these games and more. That should be posted later today.
They are feeding the beast inside you.
It's a glorious thing. So that is one of the games that I have for this week, and you should too. You should jump on board. Again, flying a little blind early in the season. And it's hard to get a feel for last season as well when you go through this. But I did come prepared today. And I mentioned to you the Raging Cajuns at +8 and under the 58. Texas will play good defense this year, too.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have enough to slow down, Bijan Robinson?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You would know better than I.
Well, no, Texas has a great running back. And he's one of those guys that's on that abbreviated Heisman list. He's a great player. But I do think that Patrick Toney's defense at Louisiana Lafayette will play good again in this game in slowing down the run.
Okay.
And we may see this thing bogged down and get under 58.
So you like that better than the 8, though, because you mentioned +8. That's not on the card.
No, I'm officially going with the under 58,
all
but
right.
maybe in my real life I've got a tandem thing going here.
Oh, a little tandem.
Hey, now.
I know.
I've got NC State. I think NC State's going to hammer USF. I think very quietly USF turned into a dumpster fire. And it's like, when you go back and look at some of the numbers for USF, you go, Jesus, that is terrible. What is wrong with it? Did I not put that on the list?
What? NC State USF?
I had to have, right?
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah.
NC State -19.
Yeah, I'm giving that 19 all day. This is an ass beating. That's a beating. I'm telling you now. Devin Leary, that offensive line, Bam Knight, they're going to run the football. They play
I
good
can feel
defense.
all the way down in my plums.
Bam Knight is still there?
Unfortunately.
Oh, my God. He and Adrian Martinez, except Bam's better at what he does, right?
Bam's really good. And 4 of the 5 receivers that produced for NC State last year are back for Devin Leary. So I do have some fear about this NC State team being pretty damn good. They're really experienced.
May as well profit off of them if they're going to be good.
Yeah, I'm going to give the 19. We're going to have to buckle up, get prepared. We got to be ready to play football when we play NC State. That's way off in the distance right now, but I'm going to need us to get locked in because they're physical.
Maybe we should prepare for them instead of Notre Dame. Lost cause on Sunday.
I didn't say that. I have not said that at all. I'm ready to go watch that thing turn into an upset, celebrate. My dad and I are going. It's going to be good times. I wouldn't miss that atmosphere if you paid me. I got to be there.
Got to get the Rich Waltz clip. Light that thing up.
I took a couple here, Tom. Get ready to sound the horn.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So how much do you know about Eastern Washington?
Oh, I know their field is red, right?
Yes.
Isn't that right?
Yeah. They are the Eagles, Tom. They also were one of the best passing attacks in the FCS. They were fantastic, and they have 38 career starts at quarterback. Eric Barreri back for another year, and it's a short year because they're coming off a spring season, so they're just rolling on Big River.
Okay,
and they're facing a team in UNLV that may be one of the 5 or 6 worst teams in the country, and I'm getting points. So
it's Eastern Washington, UNLV is the matchup. Is that right?
I'm going to take Eastern Washington plus 3.5. They'll be in this thing.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums. I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
If you look at numbers like success rate, points per drive, EPA, sack rate, UNLV is in the wrong number grouping. You don't want them to be where they are. They're they're planted in these areas where you go, well, that's disconcerting.
Sack rate, no bueno.
No. So they give it up. They can't. They're punchless on offense. Just come on. Let's go,
right.
Eastern Washington.
That's right.
I also took Western Kentucky minus 22 against Tennessee.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums. Big board. I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's fun. I took Western
3
Kentucky.
of them in the opening weekend. I think 3 on any given week is a new record. Typically, I only hit that horn twice.
You can find that game 8 o'clock at night, ESPN Plus. Western Kentucky giving the 22 against Tennessee Martin. Tennessee Martin a little overwhelmed here. This is not going to be. This is going to be a tough day at the office. You got to find these games, folks. That's what Redemption Thursday is about.
Like, I'll bet Tennessee Martin, and meaning against them if, I don't know, say Georgia's playing them for a tune-up. But you will find Western Kentucky, Tennessee Martin.
It's my job, Tom Lang.
Yeah, apparently.
Came in here on a Redemption Thursday ready to ride.
Yeah, this is something.
And I also took North Carolina minus 5.5. I'm against Virginia
I've heard
Tech.
of that team.
Yeah,
I've heard of both of those teams. That's good.
So I'm counting on, and I don't know this, I could be dead wrong. This is a game I'm nervous about. It's less about North Carolina being preseason hype the way that they are to win the Coastal and unseat Miami and go and play Clemson in the ACC championship game. It's less about all of that hype. It's less about Sam Howell, all that. I do like North Carolina's team. I think they got a pretty good chance to be decent on defense. But what I will tell you is that I'm just not hearing what I need to hear from Justin Fuente and the folks in Blacksburg. That they've got some issues still.
So you're nervous about this game because there were a lot of potato chips on North Carolina?
No, I took them, but I'm nervous about it because what if he righted the room? Virginia Tech, Lane Stadium, at night, that place is one of the definitive home field advantages when they're right. It's a great place to go play a football game. It's a hard place to go and win in when they're right. Now, they haven't been right in a while. Justin's got some issues. Is that game? So, what time is that game?
That game is 6 o'clock tomorrow. It'll be on the TVs when we're all at Horizons hanging out together for the headlines party.
But did I double check? Did I get that wrong? I might have had no, I'm glad that it is tomorrow. But
it's in Blacksburg.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, but I doubted myself. Sometimes these preseason games you forget.
Well, when you have the Rolodex of Tennessee Martin and Eastern Kentucky, and you're talking to me about where Rich Rod's son is going to be an amazing quarterback.
Rhett. His name is Rhett.
Rhett Rod.
Rhett Rod and Rich Rod trying to help out Terry Bowden.
Isn't that what the kid said in The Shining? Rhett Rod.
No, Red Rum. Red Rum.
Oh, well, close enough.
And the only thing I care about with Rich Rod and Rhett is that they score me 17 points somewhere in that neighborhood, then I feel like that over is there. So that is your redemption. Those are your Redemption Thursday wagers. You get a little glimpse, a little taste of what I'm about as we go into college football more and more, and an opportunity for you to like and subscribe to College Sportsbook as we...
on this fine program on this channel, Warchant TV.
Forget about it, yeah.
I don't have incentives for subscriptions to that channel. How about this one?
I gotta read some questions here that we have, and also
we have some contributions as well. We
gotta salute everybody. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
Florida State University announced it will host a COVID-19 vaccine clinic outside Doak Campbell Stadium before this Sunday's game against Notre Dame. The walk-in clinic will be open from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Sunday, September 5th at the Garnet and Gold convenience store, located at 284 Champions Way on the east side of the stadium. No appointments are necessary and vaccinations are free and open to all interested individuals 12 years of age and older. A Gainesville man will spend the next 40 years in prison for producing child porn and sexually battering children. 70-year-old John Tennant was sentenced by Judge Alan Windsor after being convicted by the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Northern District of Florida in June. Tennant was first arrested in October 2020 and was found with 5,000 images of child porn in his possession. He, along with his wife, had owned and operated Tennant Family Home Daycare from 1985 to 2016. This is Rachel Linnea with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Mac & More Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at macandmoresystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. A blend of clouds and sun this afternoon with a chance for scattered storms. Highs around 91, westerly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance for scattered thunderstorms again tonight. Lows dip down to about 72, partly cloudy skies. Slight chance for scattered storms tomorrow. Daytime highs approaching 90, sunshine mixed with clouds at times. This report is brought to you by The Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 88.
Welcome to Tallulah Talk After Hours, your home for all things CBD. Tonight, we're talking about the benefits of CBD personal lubricants, CBD massage oils, romantic CBD scented candles, chocolates, and even CBD bath bombs. Did you know CBD lubricants can lead to increased sensitivity, resulting in longer and stronger experiences? What's left to talk about? Get yours today at Tallulah CBD on Market Street and now open in Bannerman Crossings. Thanks for listening to Tallulah Talk After Hours.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Greg Tish, Real Talk 93.3. It's Florida Man, yay or nay?
Police in blank on an unusual chase led to finding a loose emu wandering around the town. Officers who arrived on scene were surprised to see the wandering emu. That's a great name for a band.
That would be a good name.
Emo emu. You're such a Write that down for a promo.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93. The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
All right. Can you hear me, Mad Dog? So here's the cup. This is a nothing cup. It's a Dixie cup. But I have to tell you, I love the feel of these things. I just want to touch these cups.
Time was I could have a Dixie cup in my hand.
I'm just telling you, this Dixie cup is just wonderful to touch. Just so you know.
Did they sign a deal that I'm unaware of?
No.
Okay.
Don't worry about it, Tom. Woo! Every afternoon, you're like, why again with the Dixie cup talk? I just like the feel of them. That's all. Nothing going on here.
An email from Gene. Did something go on that I don't know about?
Oh, should I be getting cut in on this Dixie cup love? No, just a wonderful feel. Eric writes into the program on the chat. Now, I've been trying desperately to find a balance where I don't just continue to stare at the chat and all that stuff. So I'm doing a better job of that, I think, and we're not spending an inordinate amount of time getting to that. But we do want to say thank you to those who have been kind enough to offer something up. Eric has, as he does every day. My God, you independently wealthy man and beautiful listener of the show. What's up, Jeff and Tom? College football is finally here. Woo, indeed. Redemption Thursday and Thirsty Thursday also. Go Noles. See you guys on Saturday. Beat Notre Dame. I appreciate that. Kyle also got in. He's checking in from the high country, Montana, where the beer flows like wine and the women instinctively flock like the salmon of Capistrano.
That's his other comment. I'd put this one up.
Yeah.
You know, I like when people throw the pizza money. You say that enough now. That pizza money is, take a shot.
Take a shot with a little bit of pizza money. Hope you're confident in your picks. I'm going to Vegas tomorrow. Need all the extra pizza money I can get. Need Jeff, a.k.a. the ATM, to help a brother out. Well, it's early in the year, guys. And if you are a sporting guy, as you clearly are, sporting guy or gal, then you know that the early season wagers can be a little dicey. They also could be spot on because of yours truly and the work being done here. Oh, what's in that cup? What's in that cup? Coffee. Take a look. Can you see on camera here? Can you see the coffee?
Try and angle it without spilling it. That's a good challenge.
There you go.
Without shorting out the equipment.
Everybody can see that.
That looks like a porter to me.
I wish. It's just tasty coffee. Woo! I'm drinking way too much coffee these days.
That was for the porter, not a comment.
Way too much coffee these days. I had a rule where I wasn't drinking coffee after noon. Now I'm drinking coffee 4 p.m. It's just, we're getting geared up.
Is that right?
I'm just,
So we had a meeting a couple of weeks ago where we went to a coffee shop and it was packed. And I'm saying, what are people here for at 4:30 in the afternoon with coffee? Isn't like, I get it. Maybe if somebody has a night shift as a medical worker or something like that, okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
But you would be one of those people at the coffee shop at 4:30 in the afternoon, huh?
Probably not just a straight up black coffee at that point. I would probably get some sort of specialty drink.
Okay. Like a porter?
At the coffee shop? No. So listen, I'm really encouraged by the week of practice this team has had. And I'm really encouraged by what I've seen from the team in terms of relative health going into this game. We got a lot of guys back. I can't get into personnel and all that. I don't want to get in trouble. But I feel like a lot of the guys we're going to be counting on, starters and their backups, a lot of those guys have made their way back, and hopefully they've been able to get a lot of meaningful practice in.
Yeah, I don't think you're burning any bridges there because we've reported on Jerrion Jones, who Mike Norvell said yesterday is at full speed.
He looked great yesterday when I saw him. He looked fantastic. He was locked in.
It's fully cleared for contact, all that kind of stuff. It's just a matter of getting up to the game speed and getting in game shape for Jerrion Jones. And then Mike said it last week as well. Anybody that they started at camp with, they feel good about. So anybody that was on the roster and not with a major injury at the beginning of camp, they feel like is going to be available to them to start the season. He's been knocking on wood about the soft tissue issue, and I realize that rhymes now, but he said that in his press conference last week. So you're not burning any bridges. Anybody that was not on injured reserve or had a long-term injury like an Emmett Rice pretty much is good to go.
Yeah, the prospects of getting Emmett Rice back, I go off on a tangent here. He's not playing in this game. That's huge. I mean, if they're going to have the kind of season that they want to have, if you could get him back, because that's an area of great weakness. If you could get him back, say, by the time you play Wake,
right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
That'd be great. That'd be great. I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm not suggesting as much. I just don't know. But I like that kid, and I know he's working hard, and I would love to get him back because they need his presence. That segment group is the one that I think we have the most question marks about.
Yeah, that's one element of the defense that I do want to see, and I need to see it to believe it, is coordination pre-snap, the communication between the linebackers and the guys up front, the communication from the safeties to the linebackers. There's a lot of moving parts there. A lot of new names in the two deep. Some guys emerge that you didn't expect necessarily to emerge. Of course, Amari Gainer is one of the 3 starters at linebacker if you look at the full depth chart. But studying that depth chart in the two deep, you're saying, all right, so who is going to be the guy that calls in the checks at safety level and at the linebacker level? And are they ready to do it in real time?
Yeah.
Thankfully, Notre Dame isn't exactly a run up to the line of scrimmage and confuse you type of offense, but you're going to have to get good at that quicker. Emmett Rice would solve a lot of those issues on first and second down.
Yeah, good kid, good player. He has his limitations, as a lot of this roster does, but he is one of your better players at the position, and he has worked hard, and he's a knowledgeable player, like you're alluding to. So I desperately want to see him get back. It's he's got a chance to help that unit out quite a bit. So we'll see. Short segment here. We'll come back, wrap up the hour. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Applications, onboarding, payroll, termination. Business owners and managers, these are the processes that take away too much time from what you do best. But what if there was a locally owned, responsive solution that would charge you a fraction of the big national payroll companies? Sound too good to be true? It's not. North Florida Payroll Services is Tallahassee owned for nearly 15 years. And in that time, their prices have never changed. The reason North Florida Payroll Services can do that? Exceptional customer service that constantly evolves with the latest technology. From application to termination, for turnkey service for your payroll and HR services, trust a Tallahassee expert and save yourself time and money. North Florida Payroll Services. Online at northfloridapayroll.com.
This is Dr. James Ryan Finn with Finn Chiropractic, encouraging you to unmask the cause of your problem. People mask problems with medicine, even with stretching or massage. But if the cause of your problem is pressure on your nerve, you need to unmask that cause. That's what we do at Finn Chiropractic. So if you or a loved one are having neck pain, back pain, or headaches, come in, get the Phenomenal Health exam, and let us unmask the cause of your problem. Remember, your chiropractor loves you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Hi, this is the legendary Mary Bush Smith inviting you to tune in every Sunday morning from 8 to 9 o'clock a.m. for Sunday Morning Gospel. We'll feature our sponsor, TLC Chiropractor, Dr. Gregory Eisman, 850-222-5700.
Looking for the best low country boil in the city? How about crab legs, lobster, shrimp, mud bugs, and more? It's all fresh every day at Wahoo Seafood Grill. Visit Wahoo Seafood Grill today on Monroe Street, just north of I-10 behind the Best Western and Holiday Inn.
Hey Tallahassee, this is Sarah with Seminole Auto Glass. There's so much more to auto glass than most people know. With the technology these days, lane departure, keep assist, forward collision, that camera is attached to your windshield. When the windshield gets replaced, it needs to be reset, and that's called recalibration. And Seminole Auto Glass was the first to offer it here. We offer drop-off service or mobile service if available.
Don't forget about customer service.
Oh yeah, we have the best customer service in town, and a $50 gift card with your windshield through insurance. We're more than just a glass company. We are your local auto glass experts. Better call Seminole.
Is your business interested in exploring safe, secure, remote access capabilities for your employees? Not sure whether to go with a Mac or with a Windows system? Call the folks at Mac & More Systems, and they can give you the guidance to make the best decision for your needs. Visit macandmoresystems.com today.
If you weren't the owner of Gordo's and all those wonderful restaurants, Eddie, what would you be doing?
I think I'd want to be I don't know what I'd want to be, a boat captain. Or a cowboy.
You know how to use a lasso?
No.
You'd have to do that if you were a cowboy.
Yeah, but I've never even been on a horse. It's not my place to be on a horse.
I agree. And the horse thanks you. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
ABC Sunday night. That's Joe Tess, right?
Is Joe Tess and Greg McElroy, I do believe.
But
I go back and forth on him. Sometimes he's good, and sometimes he's insufferable.
I don't think he's unfair. So there's no.
Okay,
I don't think he's unfair. So there's that. But Joe Test is good. I mean, if you want somebody to sell something like it's the greatest game ever played or going to be played, that's Joe Test for any game. Like sometimes you kind of roll your eyes because that game is Kentucky versus ULM, and Joe Test is telling you how privileged it is to be here to watch this matchup, and you'll remember it for eons to come. But it's our game, and it is a big game, and he's going to make it feel like a big game.
Yeah, even when he was the Monday Night Football announcer.
Oh, man,
you know, and it's Giants and Bengals.
It's 3-0 midway through the second quarter, and Joe Test is telling you how great a game it is.
There he is, in from 6 yards. Cincinnati leads 7-0 with 14:22 to go in the first.
Yeah, you're like, Joe.
Whoa. And then he would throw it to Jason Witten. Remember that booth?
Tough times.
Oh my God, what a booth!
That was a toughie.
It was those two, and they put Booger on the cart.
Oh man, get your ass out of that cart, Booger. Yeah. How, you wonder sometimes because there are tryouts. There are, they do a video shoot, a mock game. You call the game with your broadcasting partner.
They immerse you in the atmosphere.
How in the world did they do that with Jason Witten and not go, well, this is terrible? I mean, Jason's offering up not a damn thing.
I think what happens is some of these networks actually just offer money to famous players or likability. The score is high for these players without the sight unseen. Like, there's no way he could have tried out. That was, oh God, Tony Romo's good for CBS. We better get Jason Witten. He seems affable. And that is quite the stereotype because he's not. He's not affable, nor is he intelligent when it comes to analysis from a broadcasting perspective.
Yeah, no,
he can't communicate it.
He's a Hall of Fame tight end.
Correct.
And that's the end of the descriptor. That's where you're done.
I'll bet he could work in the booth.
Yeah, he's
all right.
Couple of things that came down the pike today out of the National Football League. Good news if you're a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. The team has announced they are 100% vaccinated now. Every member of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, coaching staff and players, 100% vaccinated. That's very good news.
Good news for the Bucs. Wow, that's a change.
Yeah, really good news for the Bucs.
We don't get good news ever anymore.
Really good news across the board here. And I bring it up because it's another reminder that we will carry the Tampa Bay Buccaneers every game right here on 93.3 Real Talk Radio. You'll get to hear that. We can all celebrate the world champions who will not have to stop and not be able to play because of COVID because they are 100% vaccinated.
Yeah, probably. That sounds about right.
I think that sounds about, well, we won't be the cause.
That's right.
Yeah, we won't be the cause. So there's that. By the way, the NFC South in general is really humming along with this thing. The Atlanta Falcons, of course, were the first team to announce that they were 100% vaccinated. They did that, I think, some 17 days ago.
Listen, if you want to drive over to catch a really good football game in a couple of weeks down in Jacksonville or over in Jacksonville for our perspective.
New Orleans taking on
Aaron Rodgers against J-Boo.
Yeah.
It's a 2-hour drive.
I actually
get in a caravan.
Talked to somebody last night whose company that he works for rented a bus. They're going over.
Is that right?
They jumped on it immediately.
Are there any seats left on the bus?
I did not ask that.
Did you claim one for yourself?
I did not,
okay.
But I thought about it. I was offered a spot, and I thought, well, don't mind if I do.
That sounds like a fun Sunday right there.
Fun Sunday indeed. Yeah. No, I did not claim one. I did not do that, but I thought about it. So go Bucks, and that's an aside. I was just talking about the Bucs story, but yes, that game would be fun, and I hope JB plays great. Who's your rooting interest there? You gonna root for Green Bay just because we want New Orleans to get buried, or you gonna?
No. You want Green Bay to lose as many games as possible because Aaron Rodgers is a bigger threat than Jameis. I'm sorry, he is currently. He is.
Yeah, Aaron is one of the 2 or 3 best quarterbacks in the league. That is correct, and an all-time great.
I'm not worried about the division. I'm worried about getting out of the NFC.
I'm with you on that. Chef Cameron Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV. Hour number 2 forthcoming. Stay with on a Redemption Thursday.
In the capital city, you'll hear it first on Real Talk 93.3 WVFT, Gretna, Tallahassee.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott.
President Biden says the remnants of Ida have been devastating for the tri-state area of New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania.
11 people in New York and New Jersey died because of the storm. And I want to express my heartfelt thanks to all the first responders and everyone who's been working through the night and well into the morning to save lives and get power back.
He'll visit Louisiana on Friday to survey storm damage. The power is back on in places in New Orleans, where the levees held and saved the city from catastrophic flooding. But outside those levees, authorities are waiting for floodwaters to recede so they can truck in food, water, and repair supplies. Also at townhall.com, a new law in Texas. And correspondent Mike Hempen reports this is the strictest law against abortion in the United States since the High Court's landmark Roe v. Wade decision in 1973.
In declining to halt the Texas law, a majority of Supreme Court justices said those bringing the case had not met the high burden required for a stay of the law. The Texas law is part of a broader push by Republicans nationwide to impose new restrictions on abortion. At least 12 other states have enacted bans early in pregnancy, but all have been blocked from taking effect.
The Texas law prohibits abortions once medical professionals can detect cardiac activity. That's usually around 6 weeks. President Biden is lambasting the Supreme Court's decision not to block the law. A decrease in strong winds helping the battle against a huge California forest fire threatening Lake Tahoe. But commanders warning firefighters to keep their guard up against continuing dangers. The Caldor fire covers more than 328 square miles. It's only 25% contained. On Wall Street, the Dow had 73 points, but the NASDAQ is down a fraction. More at townhall.com.
Right now, people are home with their pet more often, and I think especially with the shedding, they're more cognizant of what's going on and that it's an actual issue.
Olive got some skin issues. He gets really going and scratching.
Excessive shedding, a lot of just scratching and itching.
Digging, scratching, and itching and biting. On top of that, he was starting to get black buildup in his ears.
DINOVITE.com.
I just heard the Dynovite commercial so many times that I said, you know what, I'll give it a shot. And I ordered it and tried it, and it worked.
We started Dynovite, and in our first stock, we noticed a difference, especially with the shedding.
Within 3 weeks, he's not scratching and itching, and he's an all-around happier dog.
We've got 4 dogs, all different ages, all different sizes, and they've all just responded really well to the Dynovite, and they all love it.
We will be using Dynovite for life.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
We order our Dynovite from Dynovite.com. DINOVITE.com.
What do you need tires on? Your car or truck, tractor or heavy equipment? At Nice Tire and Auto Service, we have tires for all these needs. And we service your vehicle from air conditioning and computerized alignment to oil changes and everything else under the hood. Call Nice Tire and Auto today at 574-4100. That's 574-4100 for your scheduled maintenance. National accounts welcome at Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, just west of Capitol Circle.
Warchant.com is the ultimate inside source for FSU football and recruiting. Get in on the action for free for an entire month. Warchant.com is offering a risk-free 30-day trial subscription just by entering the promo code WARCHANT30. That's WARCHANT30. Get in on the world's most active FSU message boards. Receive breaking news, stories from our award-winning staff, plus get exclusive interviews and videos. Just enter the promo code WARCHANT30. WARCHANT.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Bobby Bowden Field. What a night that's going to be, and we are really close now. Excited to be here. Give you my Redemption Thursday wagers momentarily. By the way, find me on Twitter at @JCameronShow. No, Daryl, I just saw your question. We've answered plenty of questions today that don't have any money attached to them. I'll continue to do that as usual. Also would note here that Florida State is healthy. Said that. We had a few questions about that before. They're looking like they're going to be in good shape for this game. So you've got everybody on deck, ready to go.
I'm ready, man. I saw that list today. We've had how many conversations this week? Separate phone calls about all these lines, early lines, season totals, futures.
Sure.
Probably 6 or 7.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, and we're
those
gathering
are the phone
more.
calls. I know it. Usually around like 8:30 at night or 8:15 in the morning. Those, when I see your name pop up on the phone, that means it's wager time. And I like that.
Likely wager time, or perhaps a little side note, just a little information being passed on over to you.
That's right. That's last night. I was doing a site visit at the Corner Pocket. I had a Libations Fest on Saturday.
Site visit, baby.
That's right. And there was a phone call, and I said, "Oop, he's on his way to do the Sirius XM show. What does he want to talk about?" And you said, "Did you hear about blah, 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 blah? Because it's going to push that line. You better jump on it, buddy." And I said, "Thank you, sir."
Yeah. I did do
I'm
that.
texting right now. And that's what I did.
Well, listen, man. You try to help out your brothers. Got to do what you got to do. We're all out there getting after it, having a good time. It's good to have all the information at your fingertips. So on that note, Redemption Thursday wagers, really quick. We'll post there on the stream. You can see that. Kentucky versus ULM. I'm going over 54. Louisiana Lafayette in Texas. I'm going under 58. I got Jimbo's Texas A&M Aggies going minus 28.5 against Kent State. Yep. South Alabama minus 1 against Southern Miss. I took NC State minus 19 against USF. I think they'll batter and bruise them. Western Kentucky minus 22 against Tennessee Martin. Eastern Michigan plus 3.5 against UNLV. Going to pull the upset. If you're looking for like a parlay, throw that little sucker in there and maybe get you an upset. North Carolina minus 5.5 against Virginia Tech.
Getting greedy now with the parlay. That's a beautiful card, too, isn't it? Look at the colors. They're just pleasing to the eye on the stream.
Oh, I wasn't looking at the stream.
The menu?
What the hell card are you talking about?
I'm talking about the Metro Deli card.
That is a nice card. I like me with the bag of money at the ATM on that card. MetroDeliTally.com for really good food. So I'm excited, just like everybody else. I'm really excited because they're healthy and they had an intense practice today, even though they weren't full pads. I know that they continue to be, I think, more than anything else, a team that is ready to play football. When you listen to our players right now, Jermaine Johnson and the rest of these guys, clearly ready to play a little bit of football. So into camp, that's true of everybody. But I think that they have repped as much as they can. I can't talk about install, but I saw some yesterday. And, they know what the game plan is. We'll see if they execute it. We'll see a couple of things. Are they able to execute it physically? And are they mentally sharp? Because, there were times last year where things happened that weren't coached. Things happened last year where you'd say nobody taught them to do that. That is rat trapping. That's somebody trying to make a play that they shouldn't. That's somebody getting outside their comfort zone. That's somebody desperate. That's somebody not staying within the scheme. Don't want to see any of that. Need to see this group get back to playing good, sound football. Results will be the results. We'll talk about them and we'll react to them, but just play good, sound football. Give yourself fighting a chance because, it's true of the NFL as well, and coaches reference this quite a bit. It's very rare to see a team consistently go out and win games. Other teams lose them.
Oh, on Sundays especially, yeah. There's no doubt.
If you give yourself a chance by just being smart, adhering to the game plan, playing, good fundamental football, do it long enough, the other team will give you a chance. The other team will give you an opportunity to win a game. Now, you can't account for turnover luck, so nobody knows how that's going to go. I mean, tip passes and things of that ilk. But if you're where you're supposed to be and you do it again and again and again, you give yourself a chance to benefit from a few good bounces here or there, and all of a sudden you're in a position to win a game.
So we're finally at the home stretch where we are exclusively talking about 10,000-foot view questions, right? Future of the program, what is this going to do? What are the expectations for this year, the implications for the signing class? You name it, we've had all these kinds of questions. But my question to you would be, after seeing practice at different levels, at different increments now, you've seen them without pads, You've seen them practice in full pads and then also in a game week, which usually is a little bit different than a fall camp practice would be. How do you feel about the direction of things? Has it impacted your view on the direction of things, or did you already have expectations set and they're matching the expectations that you had set in your mind?
Of the coaching staff.
Of the coaching staff and the way they conduct things and your confidence in the coaching staff to execute what they want to do.
So I want to harken back to the root of my answer here, which goes back to spring. And I had a great opportunity, thanks to Coach Norvell and Florida State University. They tagged me along with Gene Deckerhoff and Andy Staples and Andrea Adelson to be guest coaches and to get a taste of what it was like to be on the headset in real time, to call plays, offense and defense. But more than that, they also invited us out to the team dinner that they had at Coach Norvell's house. And, again, to get that kind of access is very rare, and I appreciate it greatly. And Coach Norvell, I will tell you this, and I've seen this consistently, and you have too, maybe not this intimately as I'm describing, but you've seen this. When he commits to something, whether it's a motto or a promotion or a workout or whatever it might be, then he is all in. There's no, think about the recruiting thing at midnight and all that. I mean, he is all in, and he gets everybody in line, and they're all in as well. It's understood. It's laid out before them. This is what we're doing. I need you to be part of this. I need you to be committed to it. I need you to be actively a part of what we're doing.
Yeah, the regiments, I can speak to one example in practice, which is, in practice throughout the course of spring and fall. I don't know about game weeks so much, but there are times, maybe frequently, where boosters, high-level boosters, may be on the sidelines to take in those practices.
Correct.
That is one of the privileges
yesterday
that's afforded you when you are a high-level booster. Mike is so regimented that he can get from the defensive field to the offensive field to the specialists and then work in time to make sure that they feel as important as they are, those boosters. Spend a couple of time, even in the course of practice, to say hello, ask a couple of questions, give a couple of answers and some insights, and then roll right back in. You could tell that it's almost in his mind to the second. We've seen instances in which he said he was going to go live for fall camp this year. 20 seconds, and he's serious. He yelled at the top of his lungs.
He wants you to know we're starting on time.
That's correct.
Yeah.
But you can see how he maps it out in his mind, that everything is going to have a finite time, and he's got a clock that's ticking at all times. And that's important because every minute you get with players matters.
Yeah.
It's so restricted compared to the way it used to be.
So the reason I brought all of that up is to say that being given that insight and having the opportunity to sit into his coach's room right next to his office, out before us, the way that he sets up the play charts, down distance, the calls that he wants in certain scenarios, how his card that he holds, that he calls the plays from, is compiled, how he does that, the give and take with his coaches as they build to that, and then also, kind of the methodology of what happens on a game day from start to finish, what time they get up, what time they eat, where they have to be. So he prepares his team this way, his coaching staff this way. It's very thorough, as you're describing. But when we went out to his house for dinner, the entire team was there. And the first thing that happened that impressed me, and I don't think he would mind me saying this, I don't think it's too much behind the curtain. He addressed that team after they had the opportunity to go through the line. They had it catered, of course. There was somebody providing food. The team got food. We were out by his pool, and he spoke to that team after they got done eating, and he thanked them for coming out to the house. And I won't get into the details of everything that he said, but it was a good little 5-minute conversation that he was having with them. You could tell that he cares very deeply about those kids, and they could tell, more importantly, so much so that they responded at one point while he was talking. And it was awesome to see. There was a real connection, a real bond there. And I thought, okay, I'm going to check the box there. That's not always the case between head coach and team. A head coach has a lot of responsibilities in college football, especially at big-time programs, to the point where players don't always get sort of a feel for who their head coach really is as a man. They know who he is as a coach, but they don't know who he is as a man. And that is a special thing. When it happens, when there's a bond, guys will run through fire for you. They'll run through walls for you. And you don't have to have that in order to win, but it's nice, especially when you're trying to build to something, or in this case, rebuild, right? So in my head, I checked the box and said, okay, there's a connection. That's good to see. And he was genuine. He was authentic in that moment. So right off the bat, I thought, all right, this group is going to play hard for him because they believe him. And they believe in what he's telling them to do, okay? So that was a good thing to see. Then down on the sideline for the actual spring game, I listened on the headset to Kenny Dillingham. I heard Adam Fuller. I heard Coach Norvell. I saw the interaction. Everything from the Vada boys to what the hell are you doing and everything in between, right? But I also watched how the team responded in those moments because some of those can be intense. I mean, you're competing. You want to put your best foot forward. But also, if you make the kinds of mistakes that we saw Tate Rodemaker make, then you know, I mean, that
it was captured by the videos. You're not giving away trade secrets.
Yeah, that was a toughie. I mean,
the rage in his face was seen by all.
Well, he froze in the moment. It happens, but he just could not get rid of the ball, and they were imploring him to get rid of the ball. And some things were said that you thought, that's a toughie, but that's football, man. I mean, that's nothing compared to some of the stuff that used to go on. And you're like, okay, well, but he handled it well. But also I checked, as with any individual that they had to get on, what happened a few minutes later? What did the other coaches do? What did that coach, the one who's doing the yelling, do? They always circle back. They always circle back and explain themselves. They go back and make sure, you all right? You know, they put their arm around him and let him know, hey, I may have undressed you in front of the team right there and said all the things you did wrong, and, you know, really laid into you for the mistakes that you were making in the moment. But I care about you. This is because I need you to get better, and you're capable of more. And they basically would tell them that. So tough love is what that is.
Well, you can also see it in a player's eyes and some sidelines, like, I don't know, the 2010 Florida sidelines.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
No connection there.
Right. You could see when something is said to the player in their expression, they shut down internally.
Yes.
Like, I've turned you off. I don't care what you say. Forget it. And that's important. When you're trying to repair a culture, you might still see that from a few players with the incoming coach because you didn't recruit me. What do you care about me?
Right.
Last guy lied to me or he failed me. One of the two, right? So what do you care? And you could see their expression go to shutdown mode the moment they're being yelled at. That's an important thing to monitor for in practice and monitor for in the spring interactions that you saw.
They respond. I mean, not every guy handles it really well in the moment, but almost universally, you see that they do respond eventually. They come around, and the coaches make it a point. And there's consistent messaging from all of the staff. So I say that to say this. That's a sign of a buttoned-up, organized staff with a plan from the head man on down. And leadership determines all of this. You know, I used to just roll my eyes at the idea of people just blindly referencing character and leadership without expressing any succinct sort of answers for those questions, right? Like without saying, well, this is what that means, or this is what this looks like, or this is how this works. But now I know it. You see it. These businesses that are well run, you see organizations that have great leadership from the top down, and how those that are in a role to serve the ultimate CEO, whomever it might be, they carry that message from the top and they pass it on down to each group, each management group and all. And if it's bought into and believed, then you get everybody pulling in the right direction. And of course, we end up seeing the rising tide, boats rise, all that good stuff, all the successes that we hear about at very successful companies. But it has to be something that is believed in, trusted, and it has to be a plan. It has to be an actual. So I've seen all of that. I've watched how they do that. Now, that's not to say there won't be guys who fail in their duties and their jobs, not from lack of effort and not because they didn't believe. They just didn't do a good enough job, and they'll be replaced. That happens everywhere with every organization. Some guys just not the right guy at the right time, whatever it might be, right? But I would say that having witnessed all of that, I thought, well, okay, the basics are there. What they had to have in this coaching staff is in place. What they, at the bare minimum, what they needed to have in place is there. Work ethic, trust, belief, organization, plan, all of it's there. So check. Then you throw in the connection in terms of the emotional, like I talked about, the relationship with the head coach and his players. That too, check. So I have thought, even in the spring and on into the fall camp, that the right group is here. It's a question of how quickly they can begin to win football games at the rate we want them to, that we desperately wish for them to do. And that involves a lot of other questions that have nothing to do with the coaching staff or organization and everything to do with the talent, everything to do with the depth of talent, everything to do with the recruiting classes of the future, everything to do with supplanting some guys who are not at Florida State's level. That's the whole thing. Like, hardworking football players who believe, who care, doing the right thing, all that stuff, but they're just not where they need to be. Not if we want to beat Clemson in the Atlantic, not if we expect to beat Notre Dame on Sunday night, not if we think we're going to go back to winning 10, 11 games every year no matter what and make a run at a national title. But that's not something that this staff on a Sunday night against Notre Dame can do anything about, right? That's something they can only do something about in recruiting by raising the floor. And so I trust the group. I trust the staff. I trust where they're at. I think it's the right group. But it's going to be a little while. It's going to take a little time, even with all those things in place. So yeah, I'm encouraged. I've been encouraged at these practices. I've been encouraged what I see on a day-to-day basis. I think you got hardworking guys who care deeply, above and beyond just trying to do their job and obviously making a lot of money. I think they care deeply about these kids having success. Because if you ask somebody to buy into all the things that they've asked them to buy into, and you know what they've been through, and you were raised in football as he was, right? You were a player too, as he was. Then you know what kind of sacrifice that is, and you desperately want those kids to have a taste of success because of the sacrifices necessary to get there. So now that's all there. It's just I wonder how quickly it can get turned around. I wonder how quickly they can get to a place where it's overwhelmingly obvious that it's going in the right direction. Jeff Cameron, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Civil lawsuits, contract disputes, attorney Chris Dunn, 583-5380, offices in Tallahassee.
Hi, this is Justin Colvin, founder of the Medicare Help Desk. I routinely speak to seniors who are overwhelmed by the multitude of coverage options available to them. That's why I created the Medicare Help Desk radio show. Tune in every Sunday at 11:30 a.m. where I provide clear answers to all your questions about Medicare.
Hi, Chris Kraft for the Kraft Brothers dealerships. At Kraft Nissan, we've been amazed at the number of Toyota and Honda people trading up to Nissan's new family of SUVs. The changes are stunning. And don't just take my word for it. Motor Trend tagged Rogue as the 2021 SUV of the Year finalist, adding that Rogue can go toe-to-toe with Honda and Toyota. Well, guess what, Tallahassee? We can't keep the new Rogues on the showroom floor. Seriously, if you haven't seen one for yourself, come take a test drive and you'll see the new Rogue sells itself. In the 2022 Nissan Pathfinder, it's roomier, quicker, and better equipped. Plus, the second row seats easily slide and flip forward to allow access to the third row, even with a child seat installed. And finally, Car and Driver Assist savvy shoppers will be surprised by the new Armada's luxuriousness. So I encourage SUV lovers to come see the new Nissan family of SUVs. Everyone knows that Nissan SUVs have more standard equipment than the competition. The award-winning Rogue, Pathfinder, and Armada, only at Kraft Nissan, Mahan Drive, Tallahassee.
When the forgotten poor are in need of healing, they wait for a ship unlike any other. Mercy Ships, a floating hospital staffed by volunteers, heroes of mercy who donate their time to save lives.
Every human has the right to have a place at the table of the human race.
If you could just see the smiles that you get when lives have been changed, then it would make it all worth it.
To learn more about Heroes of Mercy, go to mercyships.org.
You went online to switch your car insurance to Progressive so you could save money, but then you saw a friend request from an old summer camp buddy. And now here you are, clicking through photos of his kickball team from 2011. Oh, looks like they won the championship that year. Then he moved to Tulsa. Oh, a new tattoo. Yes, they said it was easy to save hundreds on car insurance with Progressive, but they forgot about the rest of the internet. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. National average savings by new customer surveyed who saved in 2019.
When you need a plumber quick, how long is an acceptable time to have to wait?
Yeah, hey, it's the Millers again. Just calling you about our little plumbing problem.
2 hours?
Hey, we were hoping you can get here soon because the water is getting really bad. I mean, please hurry.
4 hours?
I know you said you were on your way, but, honey, tell the kids to tread water.
8 hours?
Don't worry about us.
At M&L Plumbing, you'll never have to wait long for quality, dependable service right when you need it. At M&L Plumbing, we listen to our customers, and our qualified technicians aim to achieve 100% customer satisfaction. So the next time you need plumbing work or repairs, think of the name M&L Plumbing, your local plumbing experts, commercial or residential. Give us a call, 850-575-9393, or visit us online at mndlplumbing.com. M&L Plumbing, for all of your plumbing needs.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
That matter. I picture you and I in LA as we were, but also just like separately this scenario by which we're at a jazz bar at 3 a.m. and we're people watching. We're enjoying, like you and I are sitting at the back table having a cold one or something, or maybe a sip of scotch or something, and we're looking around. We're like, "Ooh, my man's feeling it. Oh, they're getting up on stage. Here we go. This is gonna be good." You know, don't you get that sense? Like.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the jazz club I was in Manhattan. I was in a pretty cool place called the Flatiron Room, and it's got a book, and I mean, it looks like Britannica, full of different whiskeys and scotches.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
It was awesome.
Coley writes, Mr. Cameron, what are you expecting out of Notre Dame this Sunday evening? I'm expecting a very physical team that's well coached. I think you're going to see a lot of 12 personnel. That's double tights. I think they're going to run the ball right at Florida State. I think they'll do a lot of the things they did a year ago on their way to having an obscene day, at least from our vantage point as Noles, on the ground, because they're going to want to test Florida State's chin. They're going to want to see, have you gotten any better at stopping the run? Why would you ever go away from that when you ran it at a clip of 10 yards a carry or more at times in that game? You really wouldn't, because it's the number one way to help out your pedestrian quarterback. Jack Cohn can be a serviceable and game managing quarterback that wins football games if you run the football, throw off a play action, if you get a defense to have to creep up and really kind of overplay the run, if you will. And, I don't think Florida State can play it straight up. I don't think they can play it honest. I think they have to commit numbers to stopping the run. I don't think they're physically big enough or deep enough as the game wears on to be able to do that.
How about early, though?
Early. Well, early on, I would try to play it honest and see what we get, see if you can. Now, that, by the way, is something to look for. We'll talk about this in the pregame show on Tallahassee Game Day on Sunday. I'm looking forward to doing that with you, because that is something I want to see early on. Yeah, you come out in your base and let's see what happens. But I don't think, Florida State is a smaller team defensively on the whole, and their linebackers are such that, given that that's the weakness, you don't want to have a lot of linebackers on the field. But in order to do that, to avoid that, you're going to play a lot of nickel and dime. But Notre Dame running the football right at you prohibits you from being able to play a lot of nickel and dime, so your linebackers have to be on the field. And if they can expose those linebackers by setting you up through the run and knowing that they're physical and then throwing off of that and getting them isolated to where they have to cover, then you get beat. That's the problem. I think teams are going to test that game in and game out. NC State is going to do that as well. Now, we're playing Notre Dame. We'll worry about NC State later on. But they'll come out and try to be very physical and run the ball. And if they're successful, they won't come out of it, and it's going to be a long day at the office. If you're able to force them by getting stops and putting them behind the chains to where you have a bunch of 3rd and 5s and 3rd and 6s, and you can get off the field. Well, now we got a ball game, folks. Now we got a ball game. Now, I don't know how consistently well we're going to move the ball on their defense, and they're going to try to confuse with multiple looks, and you did a great job of breaking that down on warchant.com. But that's, for me, the biggest question of this game is, can Florida State play the way they want to play on defense, or is it going to be dictated to them through the physical approach of Notre Dame and 12 personnel running the ball right at us?
I think what's interesting about Jack Cohn is if you guess, you can guess right on him. He's very much this is where everybody should be kind of quarterback. 5 steps, 3 steps, and the ball is out to a quick slant, something like that. Where if you decide you want to take an angle and cut it off at the pass, I don't know that they're going to pull many double moves with Jack Cohn.
Not early, certainly. I think if he ends up having success down the field, this will all be born out of the run game, and then and then you get caught looking in the backfield and creeping a little bit, and then any quarterback worth his salt can hit a wide open receiver on a double move or stop and go or something like that. You're going to see some of that.
But when you're looking at flares to the outside, quick slants, things like that, he just seems very much like I need to get the ball out by this time, come hell or high water. And so I think there are some opportunities there for the defense to maybe improvise on their own, guess a little bit. I'm not saying you need to do that early on. Play it honest and stick to your job and do your job. But, when you look at Jordan Travis, what we're worried about is when things are routine, when you're standing in the pocket, can you make the throws? Can you deliver the ball where it needs to go?
Well, can this line hold up to give you time to do that? Yeah.
Because the improvisational side of him is fine. It's better than fine.
Well, nobody's got any questions about that. Yeah.
Right. And Cohn, I think, is the opposite. Like, if you can get him in a place where he's a little bit less comfortable with, I don't know if this look is going to be here when it's supposed to be. Oh, what do I do? Oh, he goes down. He doesn't have very much improvisation in him. He is more on schedule. So what can you do to disrupt that? Can you guess, or can you get home quick enough? Because if you can, his eye level will drop. Yeah. And that's an important thing, because then when you see that out of a quarterback, it's blood in the water, baby.
Well, you got to win first down. We never won first down a year ago on either side of the ball, really, outside of improvised plays like you're talking about. But you got to win first down on defense and get them to where they can be more predictable, and you can pin your ears, and you can get Jermaine Johnson getting at him, and you start to hit him, and you send some messages. It's been a long time. It's been a long time since this defense dictated terms and sent messages, and got guys to look down and see the rush. We haven't been very good at getting guys, off their spot. These guys have stayed comfortably in the pocket with a lot of time. That's how our secondary got exposed to no end. You can't ask this secondary, any secondary for that matter, to cover somebody for 5 and 6 seconds at a time. So, then very pedestrian quarterbacks, and he is. I don't care if he comes in here and throws for 500 yards. He's pedestrian. I've seen enough of the film. I know what he is. He's an average-ass quarterback. But average-ass quarterbacks win a lot of football games if you let them throw in rhythm, you give them a lot of time to feel comfortable, and they let receivers come open because you're not harassing them. So if your havoc rate is low in the backfield, they get comfortable, and he's on scholarship. He's a college football player. He's going to make those throws. So you got to get to him. And I certainly hope you do that by winning first down. Now it's 2nd and 8. Now it's 3rd and 5. All right. We can reasonably expect we're going to see a pass here. Let's go. Let's dial some things up.
The other thing that I think it's fair game to say that we've seen in camp that I really hope bears out in a game, because, like you've said multiple times, it's got to be slow enough for you when you actually get out there for the live reps of a game that you can execute what you were doing in practice. The thing I've seen is much better technique at finding the football from our corners. Finding the football. Because the one thing that Cohn will do, I've said this a few times, I'm sure we'll talk about it again on Tallahassee Game Day on Sunday at 4 o'clock on Warchant TV and right here, is Jack Cohn will test you outside the numbers now. If he sees a one-on-one matchup, even early on, maybe it's just to make the safety play honest pre-snap.
I hope he does. I hope so too. I hope he does.
I want to see what our corners do. Can we turn around and find the freaking football for once?
I think Travis J will make plays. We talked about Jones being back at practice. Miko Dotson's had a good camp. There have been a lot of guys. They've got some dudes back there now. They really do. This could be a favorable matchup for Florida State. It could be. Again, you're going to have to get some pressure because nobody can cover anybody for 5 and 6 seconds. Real quick, Daryl asked a question. I wanted to answer it. Compare Cohn to Notre Dame's quarterback from last year. Ian Book is who you're referencing, Daryl. Is there any comparison? No, in the sense that Ian could move. He could get around and he could hurt you with his legs a little bit. I think Book was a better quarterback.
You talk about improv? Yeah,
Yeah.
Ian Book could do a lot of
Yeah,
that.
Ian Book could do a lot of that. He was a better player than Jack Cohn. I never thought Ian Book was elite. I thought he was
agreed.
I thought he was a nice college player. That's just what
He's flawed though. I mean, when they got to the playoff, you're like, nope, that ain't gonna cut it.
Yeah.
That's not good enough.
No, I agree. I think that you're talking about a Notre Dame team that is recruited well, that has a very good tradition of blocking it up. I mean, that offensive line is consistently really good. And I know that we keep pointing to the fact that they've had to replace 4 of the 5 starting linemen from a year ago. But I assure you, the guys that are going to roll out there are good. You know, that's the beauty of one is knowing that in some capacity, especially areas of which you stress. I mean, notice that Notre Dame year in and year out has elite tight ends, and they've got another good crop of tight ends this year. I mean, there are points of emphasis for the style of play that they want to run, and they recruit to it. And they've recruited to Kelly's done a very good job. You know, at Notre Dame anymore, it's not yesteryear. It's not, kids that are the 5-star elite skill players. They're going to Alabama. They're going to Clemson. They're going to Ohio State, and they're going, name your schools, Georgia, obviously. But they're not exactly flocking to Notre Dame. But what you do get with Notre Dame is a big offensive line. You get a talented core of running backs, usually year in and year out. Very physical brand of football. You get good tight ends, pretty average quarterback play, but they play very physical. They play stout defense. And if you're able to do that, you're in most games until you get to those dynamic teams like Clemson, like Oklahoma, like Georgia, like Alabama. Then you get your doors blown off because that's a whole nother level. They're not there, but they're just below it. And we're fighting to get back to that because you got to walk before you can run. Now, once you get there, you want to kick down the door, and therein lies the frustration. If you're a Notre Dame fan, you feel like Kelly's done a great job of getting, again, speaking from a Notre Dame standpoint, you would say, well, I know that we're not going to be a laughingstock. I know that Kelly's going to have a good team. I know that we're going to win our fair share of games. We're going to win 8 games every year, maybe 10, maybe 11, who knows? But we're going to have a good season. Can we get back to winning national championships, which they've been asking for a very long time? And when they get the opportunity, they're getting crushed. So they get the smack across the face that says, you're not there. You're not there. You're just below. And that probably is frustrating because you wonder, can you ever get fully back to being there amongst that elite group? See, that's where that's when Florida State is operating at peak efficiency that yes, the answer is a resounding yes. We just saw it. 2013, they were the most talented team in the country. They won the national championship. 2014, they had an undefeated regular season. 2015, they were a 10-win team. When they're operating to peak efficiency, they recruit to the level that Georgia does, that Alabama does, that obviously Ohio State and Clemson do. Notre Dame has yet to do that, but they're a very good team and a well-coached team.
So this is going to make you wince. I know it is, as I asked this question, but Florida State did list 3 linebacker positions on the depth chart. Given the matchup against Notre Dame and what Notre Dame wants to do you think there's a percentage of time that 3 linebackers are going to be on the field for Florida State in one play?
Yeah, I think if Notre Dame is successfully running the ball with big personnel, you're going to have your backers out there to step up and stop the run. You can't have defensive backs out there, although we have a couple very physical safeties that have some weight to them. And
there's the hidden question.
Yeah.
Green McKnight maybe or Shaheen.
Yeah. But think about what you're asking at that point. Again, that's a tough ask, especially out of a freshman in the case of Shaheem. He's a nice player, and he's going to be a real good player. But that's a tough ask physically for him in his first ever game. I mean, geez, maybe he does it. Who knows? People surprise us sometimes. But remember that first year Jaden Lars-Woodby came up, and they asked him to play out of position, and he hit, and he played well, and then it was all downhill from there.
Yeah, it sure was.
Yeah, he ended up being a tweener and not any good at all.
Safety's a weird position, man.
It's a tough position. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV returns in a moment.
Your local news now.
Boston Police Department, along with the Thomas County Sheriff's Office, are investigating an accidental death from Wednesday afternoon. The victim, who has not been identified, works for an extermination company. He was allegedly doing an inspection, and after several hours of no communication, his supervisor went to the area and discovered his body. Captain Tim Watkins with TCSO said this incident is still under investigation. The Tallahassee Police Department says they have made an arrest following a fatal shooting in the 2600 block of West Tennessee Street early Sunday morning. Officers were monitoring a crowd that was gathered in the parking lot of Cafe Shisha when gunshots were heard. Officers located 2 victims who were injured. One of the victims, an unidentified adult male, died at the scene. A second victim sustained minor injuries. TPD arrested 29-year-old Terrence Grice for homicide, attempted homicide, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update. Brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at macklemoresystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. A blend of clouds and sun this afternoon with a chance for scattered storms. Highs around 91, westerly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance for scattered thunderstorms again tonight. Lows dip down to about 72, partly cloudy skies. Slight chance for scattered storms tomorrow. Daytime highs approaching 90, sunshine mixed with clouds at times. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 89.
What's important when shopping at a gun store? Let's start with a friendly and knowledgeable staff. Then add top-notch service, great selection and pricing, and a personal shopping experience only found at a locally owned and operated business. At Red Hills Arms, they're right on target. While other gun stores come and go, Red Hills Arms remains Tallahassee's go-to local gun store for all your firearms needs. Stop by today and get welcomed in like family.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Greg Tish, Real Talk 93.3.
Friday on the Greg Tish Show, we have Free Talk with Terry Madigan and John Reed. I don't think we can use that. Also, Jay Revel comes in for a little Tallahassee history moment, and we'll have some fun with our Facebook Live viewers with our Wheel of Food. Is that what we want to call the wheel? We're giving away a prize for them. All starts at 6 a.m. Friday morning.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3. The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
And one downside for the time switch for the Jeff Cameron Show, Tom, is the feeling that I have right now, which would normally be, oh, okay, it's Thursday night, we got college football on the air. We'd get off the air, we would race home because that first kickoff would be happening within an hour. But this being a mid-afternoon show now, you got more time to wait. And I don't want to wait. I'm ready to watch football
For our
tonight.
lives to be over.
28 games. What are we doing?
Hopefully we don't get pinged by the record companies because that was a great rendition.
Incredible.
I agree. That's one downside, though. I do kind of like feeling done with the day, at least from the on-air perspective. We've got other stuff we need to do for Warchant.com and College Sportsbook, right? But and it's 3:25 in the afternoon. I'm like, oh, I still got time. The day is not done yet. I have more time. It's a good feeling.
That part of it is, without question, a good feeling. Kinsey has a question. I have a hard time believing Notre Dame is that much more athletic / talented than we are. Recruiting has been pretty similar with the exception of last year. Hopefully Norvell made up time in the development. Well, yes, but continuity or lack thereof and having a system in place and a way of doing things that has been installed and carried over from season to season impacts the talent that is there in the room and on the field. And Florida State has had to run off a lot of those recruiting classes. By the way, there have been plenty of guys that are no longer with this team that were part of the recruiting classes you're referencing. And I do know that it's never advisable to have 3 coaching staffs in 4 years. So, or 5 for that matter. So, yeah, that is problematic.
I would note one of the recruiting classes under Willie is almost completely gone.
It is. That's what I'm saying. There's plenty of guys that aren't anywhere here at all.
Like, it was almost one full recruiting class, not like spread out over 2 or 3 seasons. Like, one of them is just
also, just take a look at the draft and see what Notre Dame's done with their offensive line in the NFL and what Florida State's done. What has Florida State done with offensive linemen in the draft lately? Nothing. I was going to say something else, but
Big Rod Johnson, and then that's
a lot of nothing.
Yeah.
So we could look at all the skill position players we want because they're sexy and they end up making a recruiting class ranking higher. But the truth is, if your linemen suck and theirs don't, I don't care if you've got the fastest crop of wide receivers of all time, you're going to lose at the line of scrimmage.
Do ours, though, our 5 offensive linemen?
Suck?
I know it's a dangerous question to ask.
No, I don't think they suck.
Right, but that's improvement.
That's a
We're
lot
getting
of
there.
Yeah, they're better. They're better. They're not good.
We're not the average yet, right?
I don't think so. Well, let's
Is
find
there
out.
a chance? Is there a chance to get to average?
There is a chance to get to average.
That's headline news for JCS fans from the old place of employment.
Yeah,
because we had a scale.
It's frustrating to think about again how long we've been waiting for an offensive line to not be a question mark. Now, fans traditionally blame the offensive line for everything that goes wrong all the time. It is, for me, the position that is most obvious to see when it breaks down. You don't necessarily know what routes were being called and whether that's on the quarterback or the receiver. You don't know, did they round it instead of cut it off? Did he not come back to the ball? All those things.
Jimbo would tell you.
If your left tackle, if there's a blow-by on your left tackle and he's a freaking turnstile, that's a breakdown on your offensive line. That's
we weren't supposed to do that.
No, that was never the idea there. Now, you may not know technically exactly what happened. You might not know that the footwork was off, or you might not know what the protection was, but you do know that dude just got beat badly. If there's a bull rush and a guy gets thrown on his ass, physically he just got humiliated and it led to your backfield being blown up. So fans typically will always point to the offensive line as the biggest problem. Even good offensive lines get yelled at by fan bases who know intellectually, they've grasped that they have a good offensive line. I guarantee you somewhere at an Alabama bar when they're watching the Tide and they know damn well they've got one of the best 3 offensive lines in the country, you'll hear people go, "Oh, what I wish our offensive line," you know it.
That happened in 13.
Yeah.
With our fan base.
Oh, yeah, they would get mad at our offensive line. And
we're still mad at Trickett and the offensive line. I was like, well, I might agree maybe on the long, point, but this year, you got to stand down, sir. Stand down, ma'am.
Yeah, really, really good. I agree. Jeff and Tom, absolutely love the show. Thanks, Tom. Making my second trip to the Mecca Sunday, first time for a sellout. Big game. Just thank you and go Noles. Well, thank you, Tom. Thanks for listening. Thanks to all of you for listening, and thanks for the support. Really do appreciate it. My man, Maverick Helmets, LLC. I know who you are, and we've got that helmet. Does anyone know if the buses from the TLC-CC to Doak will be running on Sunday night? I don't think they are. They are not.
They are not.
They are not.
I believe special assistance charters are still running if you need extra help, but the standard, I forget what it was called, like the Noles shuttle or something like that. Yeah, no more. I saw a release on that, I think, last month when they announced it. So better start your trek a little bit earlier.
Those lots are going to be lit, buddy.
That's the one thing, listen, I love the hell out of this job.
Yeah.
But when you have a pregame show and then you got a postgame show,
you can't
there isn't a whole lot of tailgating.
No, not a lot of tailgating.
That's why if we go to Snuggy Hill, maybe it's just, we go there for entertainment purposes.
I have to admit, I may have been a little aggressive yesterday when I suggested we should set fire to that hill. Some people pointed out that seemed a bit much. Yeah. I got carried away. I was very excited. I was very excited to see, what happens at Stuggy Hill. And
who has the kerosene? Come on.
Oh man, I do. I have. I think I told you I've never been to a game at Wake Forest.
Really?
I've never been to a game at Wake Forest. No, every year when I had opportunities to go and cover it, I'd go, nah, I'm good. Don't need to go to Wake Forest. Tiny ass little school. No, I'm good.
If you went in 2013, you would have seen the only missed kick from Roberto Aguayo all season long.
And I asked him about it the following year during media day, and he explained exactly what happened and then proceeded to tell me he would never miss another kick. Quite literally said that. He would not miss another kick.
Did he?
He did miss other kicks, not many here, but he missed a bevy of kicks.
He wasn't that good from 50 plus in 14.
No,
that was one of the concerns when the Buccaneers drafted him. Among the fact
I had a
Buccaneers
lot
drafted
of concerns about that draft pick. I remember it well, and I expressed those concerns, and unfortunately, all of my greatest concerns came to pass.
That particular Wake Forest game in 2013, I remember the watch party. It was not an infamous watch party. It was just a good old-fashioned watch. No, that was BC. That was BC. The Wake one, it was declared that there would be shots for a pick six. And a pick six came on that very play. That is a legendary moment in corner pocket history.
I also know that the BC game that you're referencing did feature
a problem.
Well, not a problem.
Right.
Just a comment that made a woman bristle.
A family, yes. Yeah.
Hey, what are you doing?
That's correct. We have rules here. We've got maybe 93 audience and Warchant TV audience.
This is not non-smoky. Right. There are rules here.
If you're
at a bar and grill.
Thank you. Anything goes. Bar and grill.
Well, I mean, within reason, obviously.
Language-wise. Within reason.
Yeah.
Yes. 4-letter words. Absolutely. Absolutely. You're at a grill and bar. Got to tone it down. The family might be there. But a bar and grill, things happen. Things are said. Emotions are high. Unfortunately for you, sir, there was a blind spot with one of the support beams.
There was a pole there. I couldn't see that family.
It was not a coach's pole.
No. And I said something about our lack of tackling.
That's correct. Yeah.
It's something to the effect
now they have high top bars between those barriers.
Something to the effect of being soft, that we were soft. And yes.
That's correct.
And that poor woman was like, geez. Well, that man too. Yeah.
There was a family. The whole family. It was a little bit.
You're like, Jeff, keep naming them. The dad, the mom,
the
kid,
children.
the children.
They weren't teens.
They got an education.
Yeah, they did.
You're at a bar and grill.
They grew up that day.
You are at a bar and grill. This is a football game. It's an emotional thing. Come back, wrap it up momentarily. Hey, again, Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Welcome to Tallulah Talk After Hours, your home for all things CBD. Tonight, we're talking about the benefits of CBD personal lubricants, CBD massage oils, romantic CBD scented candles, chocolates, and even CBD bath bombs. Did you know CBD lubricants can lead to increased sensitivity, resulting in longer and stronger experiences? What's left to talk about? Get yours today at Tallulah CBD on Market Street and now open in Betterman Crossings. Thanks for listening to Tallulah Talk After Hours.
1/3 of Americans over the age of 55 have less than $25,000 in savings heading into retirement, and 34% have no savings at all. Maximizing your Social Security benefits is going to be a significant part of planning for the road ahead. If this sounds like you, or maybe even a loved one, give me a call. I can help. I'm Craig Collins with Collins Income Tax Solutions, and I'm offering free consultations to anyone looking to learn how to maximize their Social Security benefits. You can find me online at collinsincometexsolutionsllc.com.
Hey Tallahassee, this is Sarah with Seminole Auto Glass. There's so much more to auto glass than most people know. It's part of the car's structural integrity and one of the few things keeping you in the car in the event of a collision, which is why it's so important who you use. The big insurance company is going to gripe and complain anyway. Don't let them tell you where to go. Go with who you know. Seminole Auto Glass has over 25 years experience. We use the highest quality products from start to finish because we know the importance of what we do. Experience the Seminole difference. We are more than just a glass company. We are your local auto glass experts. Better call Seminole.
If you're worried about your hard-earned dollars becoming worthless or your 401k or IRA losing value, now is the time to move into gold. No, not gold or silver stocks, but real gold and silver you can actually hold in your hands. How do you get real gold and silver? By calling Oxford Gold today at 833-600-GOLD. The Oxford Gold Group will teach you everything you need to know about owning real gold and silver. It's a lot easier than you think. Call the Oxford Gold Group right now at 833-600-GOLD to get your free gold and silver investment guide. Put your savings and retirement accounts into something real, like gold and silver. Get your free Oxford Gold Group investment guide today and learn how easy it is to have real gold and silver delivered to your home, or how you can have real gold and silver in your retirement account. Don't sit back and watch your savings in a retirement account suffer. Now is the time to make your money work as hard for you as you did for your money. So do this. Call the Oxford Gold Group right now, today, 833-600-GOLD. That's 833-600-GOLD.
If you weren't the owner of Gordo's and all those wonderful restaurants, Eddie, what would you be doing?
You know, I think I'd want to be I don't know what I'd want to be, a boat captain or a cowboy.
You know how to use a lasso?
No.
You'd have to do that if you were a cowboy.
Yeah, but I've never even been on a horse. It's not my place to be on a horse.
I agree. And the horse thanks you. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching, probables?
Not fooling around, getting straight to it. North Florida Payroll Services, locally owned for nearly 15 years, offering payroll and HR services, including full online applicant onboarding and integration into payroll. Save your company money and headaches today. Head to NorthFloridaPayroll.com. Bottom five, Phillies, Nats, 6-0 Nats.
Is that right?
Aaron Nola getting lit up. Paolo Espino. A's, Tigers, bottom five, always. 8-1 Oakland, beating that ass. Frankie Montas, Matt Manning there. Brewers, Giants on a skid. Get it together, San Fran. No, the Dodgers have supplanted them in first place.
Is that right? See,
They lost 4 straight.
College football, I haven't looked at the standings in weeks.
Freaking Brewers are 30 games above 500. You know that?
I did know that.
Ridiculous.
Got a friend who's a Brewers fan.
Eric Lauer pitching for the Brewers. We've got Logan Webb needing to right the ship for the Giants. Logan Webb, folks, 8-3 with a 2.6 on the year. Have yourself a season, Logan Webb. Red Sox, Rays. I won't be as aggressive.
Here we go. Thank you.
Eduardo Rodriguez. Shane McClanahan. Marlins, Mets, TBD. Carlos Carrasco, Pirates, not good. Cubs, not good.
Who did Zinger beat in 86 to win the Ryder Cup? Shane McClanahan. Oh, yeah.
Mitch Keller going for the Pirates. He of the I Suck Keller family. Cubs throwing Keegan Thompson. Talk about performance of play.
I understand that.
I'm tired of Mitch Keller.
Apparently. Exhausted.
Tristan McKenzie's going to pitch for the Indians tonight when they play the Royals. Mike Minor will start for the Royals. The Braves on a bit of a skid going against the Rockies. Tukey Toussaint and Chichi Gonzalez.
Oh, Tukey versus Chichi.
Tukey and Chichi. All right. That's a look at those that showers out of the bub. Have I told you about my friends from T-Spark Enterprises? Because you need to know that T-Spark is one phone call away, and he'll fix your roof, but he's also a licensed general contractor, so they can take care of any structural damage as well.
All right. Far out. That's true.
They got you covered.
Peace of mind, man. When you buy a house, you don't have it. You need people you can trust, and that's at the top of my list of people
I got stuff I got to do at my house, and I don't want to be reminded of it now. I'm just going to be watching football tonight, and I'm going to let those responsibilities.
Is it like once you get to September, whatever projects have been done, that's it? We're done.
We're done with projects.
We'll pick them back up around Christmas time.
Yeah. Well, my wife this week scheduled so many appointments for the kids. One was at Birch Orthodontics, and there have been others, and haircuts and the like, and doctor's appointments and all this other stuff. And I'm like, hey, what are you doing? Appointments are over. If the kids aren't healthy and cleaned up before September comes, that's just the way it's got to be. They're going to have to suffer into next year. Maybe in February we'll get around to it after the Super Bowl, but
you run a tight ship. I like that.
What are we doing? Because I'm trying to help out and be a good dad. I'm like, she's over. Can you run over here? Can you do this? Can you drop him? I'm like, this is the last week. There's no more of these. Honey, can you do things?
Well, and given the change of locations too, there's all these extra things that we won't have to do next year. But I already told my wife, I'm like, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
That's all I said.
Yeah,
She's like, why? I'm like, I'm sorry.
You're just not going to get
You'll
any
know.
help from me. Yeah.
You'll know.
Good work out of you, sir. Good work, Matthew. Thanks to all of you. Be well. Thanks for listening and watching. You guys take care. Have a great night. Enjoy the football, everybody. Hopefully you'll make a little side change with the picks that I threw out
let's send them
there.
out with the pick graphic.
Yeah, there we go. Send them out with that. Be well, everybody. See you tomorrow.